Hi everyone, welcome back. So part two of the practical bio-wellness rebirth protocol, in which after a week of disinflaming the digestive system with food combining and slow carb diet and full veganism or flexitarianism, so where we ate only dark slow carbohydrates, very little or no animal products, and separated our digestions with food combining, which means carbohydrates in a different meal to fats and proteins. And I suggest fats and proteins at the evening meal or the winter meal or the ice age meal with a lot of fiber, and all vegetables except potatoes and carrots and sweet potatoes go with both worlds. So basically half your plate should be fiber and vegetables, and half, more like 2/3, and a third or a quarter of your plate should then be the starches and carbohydrates at lunchtime, or the proteins and fats in the evening. And now part 2 is going to be the ketogenic reset. We're going to do 10 days of gut cleanse, powerful gut cleanse. First 3 or 4 days, just no carbohydrates, starches, sugars or fruit of any kind. We want to flatline the blood sugar, reset the pancreas, fill all our reserves, make the endocrine system happy and the nervous system, find abundance of neurotransmitters and hormone reserves, and remove, mainly, the main goal is to remove the fuel source from our unwanted bacteria, gut fungus and parasites. And after the 3rd or 4th day, when these are all weak and having, let's say, the depth of their winter, we're going to attack them naturally with raw onion, lemon and vinegar. Any vinegar is good, but if you can have apple cider vinegar, of course, that'll be good for your self-esteem and pride. And yeah, there's a reason why things are popular, and it's good for us. So the ketogenic reset is going to allow for us to, in the third part of another further 10 days, the conclusive third of the course, to then repopulate the microbiome with raw fibers and starches and sprouting lentils, and but that's for the next video. So this middle part is the difficult part. The person or group are going to probably do the most difficult thing in their digestive life, which is completely flatline your blood sugar and allow all the discomfort and frustration and hungry feelings to become the norm. So we're going to desensitize and strengthen the nervous system against our impulse reaction to raise blood sugar. Basically, this isn't a natural thing that has to happen 365 days a year, first of all, and there's a reason why the calendar has 12 months and 4 seasons, and light and dark and yin and yang and day and night, but we've forgotten these basic dynamics in modern society. The last century, every citizen has had the life quality of a king, practically, with 40,000 supermarket products to choose in your surrounding retail stores, and all of them with added sugar and salt. I think it's like 70% of some supermarkets have their products with added sugars or salt, and not to mention artificial flavorings. So basically this next 10 days is going to be twice a day instead of just once, the evening meal. Lunch is going to be identical or similar to the evening ketogenic meal that we've already been doing in the first week. And the result is going to be a lot stronger stomach acids, working a lot better, doing their job a lot better on digesting the food, because it's going to be purism. In the first week, we practiced the lifestyle that is advisable in the long term. So if there's such a thing as a diet, I think it should be the slow carb, flexitarian, food combining lifestyle. And it was a bit of a strict first week, but it gives you a good idea of how normality should look like. Whereas now we're going to go full on into the nuts and seeds and an egg, a bit of ham, tuna. Obviously we're going to include some animal foods and fish, meat, seafood, because what we thought was the foundation of our diet, which is potatoes, beans, lentils, rice, pasta, noodles, flours, bread, bakery, desserts, all sweet foods, sugars, and fruit are gone for the next 10 days. And this part of the course basically, it's where the magic happens. We're going down deep, we're going into the basement of the castle, we're going to clean out the system, and we're going to allow the pancreas to only produce protease and lipase instead of mainly and large quantities of insulin, and that's going to relax the nervous system and endocrine system into peace and abundance, because insulin is the largest secretion that exhausts our neuroendocrine inner gold, so to speak, our elixirs. And excessive blood sugar spikes in the day causes endless different chronic illnesses. And from our circulation system to our nervous system, endocrine system, immune system, everything, our cell metabolism, our mitochondria, all get ruined and spoiled when we have more than one blood sugar spike a day. And in normal everyday life, people have 2 or 3 or 4. And now we're going to do the opposite, just for the sake of it, out of principle. Yin and yang, we've got to do the opposite, and it's really good for us. So the first 2 or 3 days are going to be difficult, and you're going to have to believe that this course is going to be the most valuable thing you've done for your health ever in your life, and would ever have done, because my cure coaching professional identity is inspired by people not needing to check into a retreat or rehab center and do colonic cleanses and all this stuff, and not even have to take days off work. This is a 30-day, 4-week, 3 different diet intensive streaks that basically put your health for the rest of your life in your own hands, and allows you to heal yourself in future whenever you need to. Again, any news you might get from the doctor that's unwanted in the future, I really suggest you do this month course, and actually that you do it once a year just anyway. And you're always free to do a carb-free week every month, followed maybe by the animal-free, so vegan week, just to frequently and continuously de-stress, declutter, decongest. And those are the key words for this middle part of the course. Decongestion, decluttering, emptying out fatty liver, allowing really easy weight loss, fattening and thickening and strengthening the nervous system, as our neurons are 70% fat. Our nervous system, if you drain it of water, is 30% protein and 70% fat. And we're also going to enrich it with its minerals and vitamins that are key for its strength and integrity, structural integrity. And yeah, it's very exciting diet, because we've completely lost sight of the fact that the stem cells of our nervous system are dormant as long as insulin is high. And for most people, that's 364 days a year, and 18 hours a day. I mean, our blood sugar's low and our insulin production at 0, basically when we wake up in the morning, and for not much longer than that, because the evening meal can create a blood sugar spike and a prolonged insulin curve of 4, 5, 6 hours up to 8 or 12 hours. And yeah, so the key word to learn and understand, both for food combining, for really understanding the separation of our 2 digestive modes, and this middle third, the ketogenic diet, is lipemia. 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 It's when fat from the food we've eaten coats our arteries and veins for a few hours and partially insulates or greatly insulates, depending on whether the fats are highly cooked, highly heated and abundant, or a lower amount and raw or cooked at low temperatures. We can have a catastrophe for our insulin and blood sugar storage process, which is when the body is instructed to withdraw the glucose from our blood into our muscles, tissues, organs, and mainly the liver. So most of society has a 90% or more stuffed full liver, and we all basically qualify as fat geese. And just by the way, I really recommend one of my favorite films, Marie Antoinette, 2006, by Francis Ford Coppola's niece, Sofia Coppola, and it's definitely one of the best films you'll ever see. And the Rothschilds actually rented Versailles out to her for this, gave her all the time in the world, and yeah, it's a message to all of us that we're a bit too chubby, and it's flipped. It's almost a minority living right and being exploited by the mass consumption and immoral, unsustainable behavior of not a majority, but all of us. Like, we are all now the irresponsible, unfit ruler, riding the world into the ground, exploiting, raping, and pillaging the earth. And it's basically because we've lost our sensibilities and delicate capacities of perception and consciousness, because we've raised our tolerances so extremely high to pleasure, reward, relief, gratification, self-soothing, excitation, hyper-arousal, all of the stimulus of modern society's just inputs on our nervous and endocrine systems have made us empty. And I know nobody likes the word empty because it makes you wonder if you should have invented something, or should have been more creative, or could have been professionally active and successful in your passions. But in this case, empty is our hormone and neurotransmitter reserves should be half full or full most of the time, and our enjoyments and pleasures moderate and high utility, so very valuable. You enjoy every cigarette, like I proudly have for the last 15 years, 3 or 4 a day. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 days a month it'll be 5, 6 or 7 because I had a few drinks and socializing, but also have a day a week when you only have 2, and keeping it low basically. Any smoker is improving their identity, self-respect, and growing as a person a lot more if all the cigarettes they smoke in the day, so less than 6, 7 or 8 let's say, are appreciated, grateful, clear of any guilt, and just basically a sense of merit. You're strengthening the complete opposite part of your brain to most smokers if you stay under 6 or 7 a day. And it's becoming more and more common, but it's a huge reward to your nervous system, suddenly swinging from tension into relaxation. And if you can associate this oscillation with your pride and self-respect and deservingness, you are dissolving your addict identity. And we all have the addict identity. We all have the low self-esteem that makes us capable of tolerating mistreatment, abuse, exploitation, heartbreak from not just outside but from ourselves. Because every time you indulge in these undeserved rewards and false celebrations, sometimes it's just a matter of half an hour. Like, you can skip a cigarette every day and be down from 20 a day to 10 a day in 2 weeks. If you just make a point of not smoking one single cigarette in your day. But anyway, that's another topic. Reducing your habits and rewards is for another video. This goes also for food. The Essenes, who educated Jesus, and Jesus himself said in the Apocryphal Gospels, you should chew your food 20 to 25 times every mouthful. Not many of us are doing that. Not many of us are very grateful for every mouthful of food we eat. And in view of the fact that it's proven human beings can go hundreds of days without eating, and look online, Wikipedia, a Scottish man called Angus Barbieri, who went 392 days. His parents had a fish and chip shop, and he was pretty massive, but he had the immigrant low self-esteem and need to impress that is classic and typical of immigrants. And another case is Hira Ratan Manek, HRM they called him. He was a sun gazer, died 2 years ago at the age of 83, and claimed the second half of his life he didn't eat. Now, it's been proven that he did have a few meals a year, and I think it's really important to say that. Like, it's inspiring that he was like us, just extremely dogged and stubborn and passionate, and he spread the culture and tradition of sun gazing from the East all over the world in his last few decades, traveling. A great documentary film called Eat the Sun, 2011, by David Sorcher, I think. He filmed it, and Mason Dwinell. So Mason is a not severely but mental health afflicted young man, tall, handsome, blonde, smart, intelligent, critical, stubborn, independent, and yes, he's got depression and a traumatic kind of relationship with family and friends, And he discovers that looking into the sun at the sunset in the last hour of the day, or the first hour of the day, calmed his nervous system. Because it's been proven that we have a third type of tissue in the back of our eye, not just rods and cones, but a photoreceptor cell that stores sun energy, solar energy, directly into our nervous system. And yeah, I mean, many other characters in this documentary film say the same thing. After a few days of doing this, just starting at 4 or 5 minutes in the evening, they found themselves needing a lot less food and having much more energy, being happier, more cheerful, and in the long term, people's eyesight even improved considerably, as in the ophthalmologist reduced people from 4 to 2. And anyway, there's a lot of other exercises that these eye health fanatics do, like rotation and alternation between distance and close-up. You can look up into improving your eyesight with natural methods. It's fascinating. Actually, the founder of Mind Valley, Vishen Lakhiani, had a successful adventure with that. Almost got rid of glasses altogether, as I understand it. So, okay. So this main central part of the course is going to thicken and strengthen our nervous system, because ketosis, where the body switches from glucose burning to fat burning, means a lot more high quality raw fat is going to be in the blood than usual, because usually it will be filled with cooked, heated, damaged fat, a lower quality, and actually the body becomes happy and the liver opens the door to fat loss even more when we make sure that the fats we consume are not heated and damaged. But anyway, so ketosis, after 2 days of no carbohydrates, starches, sugars, fruit of any kind, no blood glucose, begins, and after 3 or 4 days it's fully in swing, and our fat reserves are being dissolved to fuel the body. And this is completely natural. We survived ice ages and long winters for millions of years like this, and at least hundreds of thousands of years. And also our hormones are produced in their respective glands thanks to fat. Fat is needed for their production. That's why an extremely underweight woman with very little fat on her body is guaranteed to have hormone disruption and possibly reproductive disorders, from dysfunctional periods to fibroids and myomas and endometriosis and ovary cysts, PCOS, PCOS, breast lumps and all that. And the likelihood of cancer is much higher. And it's not as simple nowadays as the synthetic substances we're taking in. It's also the number of blood sugar spikes you have a day should be 1 or 0 on average, as in closer to that than 2 or 3. Iron deficiency is an extremely strong factor in female reproductive disorders and hormone disruption. The amount we consume of animal products, in my opinion, is the highest, most important main factor, because they're a highly concentrated source of synthetic substances nowadays. Meat is, the animal is fed transgenic and highly chemically treated cereals, insecticides, fungicides, pesticides, herbicides, etc. And so those are the main pillars of hormone disruption. Now, by doing the practical biowellness rebirth protocol, we don't just disinflame the system deeply and clean out excess reserves and declutter and decongest. Oh, by the way, we reduce phlegm production massively in this second part of the course. And this opens and leads the way for the third part, which is going to be detox, when we open the system and disinflame it deeply and detox it. But first we've got to mechanically empty crammed full tissues. The glycogen reserves, so our blood sugar turned into a fatty paste in all of our muscles and organs and the liver, is one of the main reasons why the city has a constant traffic jam, so to speak. And there's piles of rubbish building up on the sidewalk and stuff, to the point when we have to stop all the cars, everyone has to reverse out of the city. And that's what this course is so good at doing. It's not 100%, but not all cars have to completely reverse back the way they came, but it just increases efficiency tenfold. And I think I've created something very special just with my faith of synergy, combination power. Combining a group of tools together always produces a result far, far higher than the individual function or contribution that any of the ingredients can offer. Even in colossal quantities, 1 or 2 ingredients is never comparable to 3, 4, 5, 6. And just look at a house or a cake. for that phenomenon, and it's obvious. A house stands for a century, hard as a rock, and a cake is a miracle at a birthday party. Everyone's in a better mood. The parents have a bit of blood sugar for their brain. They combine and socialize and bond more intensely. And in a happy moment, giving your brain sugar is a good thing, and you always should really enjoy a piece of the cake. The kids, you can't feed them spoonfuls of egg or flour or sugar or milk, vanilla, cinnamon. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. After 2 or 3 spoonfuls of sugar even, the kids will stop coming. There's better stuff going on at this party. Thank you. Now, yeah, and the house is the same. Just think of it. Cement, blocks, sand, water, gravel. Take any of those away, and the house doesn't just last 10 years less. It's or 10% less of its time. It can be a matter of centuries, or it can be a matter of decades. And on a final word, for the word synergy, final note, I'd like to say 2 multiplied by itself 5 times is 32. But if you just do that once more, it's 1,000. You understand? When you go 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, you get 32. But you multiply once more that result by itself, so do it 5 times again, you get 1,000. And that's the nature of everything. Everything you see is a network of interconnected, exponentially efficient and effective and phenomenal. Literally, it's a phenomenon. It's surprising, unexpected, rewarding patience, rewarding faith, optimism, and investment in something you haven't seen yet. And that brings us to the main theme of the Building Inner Gold YouTube channel, which is my newer channel. Health courses and protocols and fully focused anatomy, life quality improvement and healing videos are more my practical bio-wellness channel. And Building Inner Gold is more the front of cultivating the spirit and evolving consciousness. But yeah, so this 10-day course is going to be the most impactful 10-day chapter in the course. Choice and applied practice probably of your life, because it brings a deep serenity and calm and clarity, and you become almost meditative, especially if you combine it with ending your showers cold for 60 seconds. All showers for the next 10 days, end them cold. And try to keep that up at least 1 or 2 times a week forever after that, because we're going to simultaneously we're going to demand BDNF production, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is the neurogenesis stimulator, new neurons, new pathways. So expansion and rejuvenation, so to speak, but growth and maturation of the nervous system. The cortex of the brain has unlimited potential and possibility for new capacities and higher performance. So definitely your memory, patience, concentration are going to improve. So your mood is going to be better, because everything is a little less difficult in your day-to-day life right away. Obviously breaking the wall and getting through the first 2 or 3 days is the hard part. But after that, you'll realize you're doing something really good. You find yourself a serene guru version of yourself that you knew was in there all along, but you haven't felt for a long time. And if you want to meditate, great. Any and all activities that are nootropic and stimulating neurogenesis, so healthy and promoting nervous system health, definitely apply them. Like green tea, matcha, ginkgo biloba, and turmeric and pepper and ginger combined together, the powders. A teaspoonful of that every morning with your tea will dilate and open your brain, all the blood vessels in your brain, oxygenate your system more. More physical exercise will be great for stimulating neurogenesis, raising BDNF. And I just can't put in words, and it takes a very long list of reasons why this 10-day chapter of the course is so valuable and life-changing like nothing else. Think of it. We're killing off the unwanted microbiome, parasites, dissolving gut fungus, aggressively kicking it out, making a lot more territory available to our desired and stronger bacteria, getting rid of the unwanted bacteria, resetting our gut flora, basically. That the bacteria in our gut produce up to 80% of our oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, These are produced by the bacteria. The bacteria are actually the workers in the factory. We are human, but only 10% of our actual human body is human, genetically speaking. It's been proven that the number of cells and genetic matter in a human body is 80-90% non-human. And we have a duty to regulate and manage and curate the nature and character and metabolism and energy and spirit and mood of these creatures, of these, but they're the workers in our human body factory. And the management is human, but the management is pretty crazy and bribed and corrupt and lost, confused, depressed, tempted, seduced. Oh, by the way, the main goal for me, spiritually speaking and character strength building wise, of the Rebirth protocol is you will have a lot more willpower and power, strength of choice and ability to make strong decisions and grow your pride and self-respect, self-esteem, thanks to a new high sensitivity and low tolerance to all and any and all behaviors. So you will reevaluate and reshape your fundamental underlying patterns, even limiting beliefs, even emotional baggage, trauma, unresolved experiences, issues, memories, relationships. You might find yourself, like one of my clients, taking the computers out of his children's bedrooms and putting them all together in one room, and him then playing with them, which his wife had asked him to do for quite some time. His professional life improved. He said to me straight up in the third week of our course that he was clearer in the head than he had been for many years at midday, already at 7 in the morning. Like at 7 in the morning, he was clear in the head. So this is why now this autumn I've been targeting human resources teams and businesses for mental health, mental fortitude, strength, emotional stability, life quality of the employee. And push, come. Tenny must be sensing bad weather coming. He's chewing the green grass leaves. But yeah, sorry it's been a bit of a machine gun rant, but I'm trying to make the videos as short and as dense and as valuable as possible for posterity, because I just want everything that I do and I offer my clients to also be available in a nutshell, concise form for anyone who either can't afford it or doesn't have the belief or the commitment, who just needs their own time and needs to learn about things before they actually apply it and do it. God knows I've been one of those for a long time, and we'll always be like that a little bit in ourselves, but yeah. I have two kinds of successful clients that complete the course and tell me this is invaluable and you can't put a price tag on it and so on. And they're strong, more or less healthy people who just know they can be better, like this father of 3 who I was just mentioning. Or alternative, the other extreme, somebody who's suffering and needs to try something new, hasn't found their solutions, is up against it. The doctor saying, like this elderly couple in their late 70s, very late 70s, the husband was taking 25 tablets a day and 10 or 15 insulin injections a week. And now he's down to 2 or 3 injections a week, sometimes even just 2. And 8 tablets a day is his best. It's 8 or 10 usually, but he's looking younger, he's got more energy. His twin brother says he's enjoying his walks and walking faster than he has in years. His depression medication's been taken away. His blood pressure, cholesterol, and diabetes medication have been reduced considerably. The diabetes medication actually drastically is down from 3 tablets a day to just 1 for his blood sugar. And 2 injections a day, 1 or 2, to, I suppose it's 0.4 or 0.3 or something. There's a great improvement. And this elderly man had 6 or 7 nightmare nights a week. So almost every night for 10 years he'd had nightmares, several. If he woke up and went back to sleep again, he'd have them again. And I mean, I never thought we'd improve that, but we did. We got it down. He's got 2 or 3 bad nights a week now, and it can still be improved. This man also has Parkinson's, so I'm hoping that he'll do my course again, specifically focused on the nervous system. But I have to leave him be for a while now because they really did their best. Like, probably my best clients ever. Well, actually, I've just mentioned both of the 2 highest performing, but they came from completely different places, as you can see. Urgency and freedom. So, love was the father of 3, and passion, and fear, and forced to experiment. from the elderly couple. So yeah, I just had to do a bit of self-justification, giving explanations. But I myself can't believe how successful what I've created is, and how simple and light and applicable by anyone it is, without having to change, even for a few weeks, their life. Like, you can keep going to work, you can keep going to school, you can keep studying, and high performance in academic, professional, artistic, musical contexts definitely requires a cleanse of the liver. You just become brighter in the head. Your blood becomes more efficient at transporting oxygen, glucose, minerals, vitamins, water, protein. Okay, I'm going to speak about protein a little bit. Now, protein is everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's protein. I don't want to say it's been a conspiracy, but it's been ridiculous and absurd how much we've been told: get your protein from animals and nowhere else, and more is better as much as possible, never stop eating protein, and more and more and more. And it just so happens that the food industry makes most of its money with meat and dairy. Animal products are the most profitable. Nature just fills the animal. It's a cheap, relatively cheap production, and the food that they've been given has become less and less natural. So now animal products on the whole have become net damaging to health more than beneficial. But doctors used to say you needed 100 or 150 grams a day just a decade ago of protein, and they're all down, the consensus is down to like 50 or 60 now. And food combining has the great magical benefit of you truly digest and fully absorb the food that you ingest, because you're doing separate puristical digestions. So for lunch it's fiber with carbohydrates, and for dinner it's fiber with fats and proteins. Two very different stomach digestions. The stomach acids get produced in the evening and really extract the amino acids from the protein and the fatty acids from the fat, and then you allow the pancreas and liver's jobs on the food to be again a lot more effective. It just takes purism, respecting that there's two different worlds to digestion, and to the annual season, and to climate, phases and ages and times in history. So yeah, just gonna turn around and have a little bit more of a walk as come on, hush. I never know if other walkers have a dog with them. Tenny is unfortunately a bit of a psycho. He's never hurt a person, but when it comes to other animals, his adrenaline and cortisol go through the roof. So protein. If you are protein obsessed and you want to maximize your intake, there are sources besides animals. Nuts and seeds, if raw, are gold, like highly packed and very nutritionally valuable. And just believe me that if you practice food combining and digest your food properly and assimilate it properly, the abundance of protein you're going to have is incomparable. Secondly, okay, I just want to say, if you put chickens' feed, their grains and cereals in water for 2 days before you feed them, they swell and become so much more absorbed and better digested by chickens. You suddenly get eggs that like round like footballs, and I mean round spheres. It's impressive, it's amazing. So this is what we do with food combining, basically massively increase the utility and proper use of food, reducing inflammation extremely, because misdigested food inflames, congests, produces high amounts of mucus, and feeds unwanted bacteria, fungi and parasites, because the glucose molecules reach much further down the digestive tract than they should. There's just endless advantages to food combining, slow carb and flexitarianism combined. And if somebody for some reason refuses to take this course and learn this information, but could just apply these 3 diets more or less 80% serious for the rest of their life, they wouldn't even need my course very much, because in the medium and long term, all the benefits that I achieve and gift the person compact in 4 weeks, and the month or 2 following the course are also revelation, and there's character change and personality, and life quality rises exponentially. But anyway, I want to keep my videos short, and this one's definitely 25 minutes by now. 30. Anyway, so yeah. Sorry it got a bit long, but as I said, this is the most important part, the middle of the course, 10 days, not just a week. And yeah, think of someone you know who could be much clearer in the head, much happier, stronger, needs maybe added discipline and self-control with some aspect of their life ruling them. And yeah, whether it's a child in school with not great academic results, or a university student, or an employee struggling, or a manager overstressed, parents with their family, God knows they are teachers and providers and everything, and they need it more than anyone. An athlete, musician, an artist, all of us. And if you're just retired and know that you want to rediscover your passions and go back into your inner child and maybe start painting, there's a spiritual rebirth is the ultimate bonus reward, cherry on the cake after this course. The more you put into this course, the more you get out of it. And it's unlimited. It's unlimited because this knowledge and this learning will automatically clue you into intuitive insights in your own life, subsequently to the course. So yeah, 3-4 days ketogenic diet, and then the following week 6, 7, 8 days of liquefying a lemon in the morning, peeling the thin zest off the outside of it, and liquefying it half and half with water, and drinking that in the morning, no breakfast. That's your breakfast, basically. Then around midday, an hour or two before lunch, have a glass of water with 1/5 of vinegar in it, and have half a raw onion, bigger rather than smaller, with each of your meals, lunch and dinner. And no snacking in between meals, because the ketogenic diet is a slower digestion. Our stomach acids are produced for much more dense, richer, heavier meals. Heavy means fat and protein, basically. Light means starch, carbohydrates, and sugar. And yeah. So when it comes to fiber, think of the entire vegetable world except potatoes and carrots. Anything and everything. Broccoli, cabbage, spinach, all the vegetables, and salads and seaweeds, and again more cabbage meals, and yeah, all leafy greens, anything crunchy. And carrots even are okay if you cut them in thin little sticks and combine them with a tahini paste or nut pate. Mushroom pate is amazing. Start experimenting. And as always I say, the Thai cuisine and Indian cuisine are a great avenue with which to practice this Cure Coaching course. So, thanks again for your time, and as always, I'll finish off saying, stay constructive, positive, forward focused, not backwards, optimistic and on what you do want, not what you don't want. Positive means plus, which is adding, building, evolving and creating things you had to believe in before you saw them, and embodying the creator, channeling the creator who created us. We do what was done to us, and we are creators. We have to channel the divine in us. And negative is the opposite of that. When you dedicate your consciousness, your memory, your imagination, your present attention, your emotional state and your thoughts to the unwanted. The unwanted makes you destructive. You want to eliminate, minus things away from reality. And you will find yourself in the lower half of the emotional spectrum. And yes, I think I forgot to mention in the first video, the vibrational scale of emotions by David Hawkins is the ultimate guiding light for modern New Thought. After the Old and New Testament came New Thought. New Thought is the collection of personal growth literature. If you type into Wikipedia authors, New Thought authors in Wikipedia, you'll find the whole world of manifesting and law of attraction and basically the religion of abundance and freedom and liberation to explore your consciousness and happiness and strength and power, which is synonymous with love. The supreme power is love. It conquers all, inevitably sooner or later changes, converts. It's the ultimate synonym and hypernym of all the things we like, and it even converts to goodness the things we don't like. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for your time again, and all the best from me, and look forward to you contacting me if I can help in any way. Bye. Take care.